easy. Like the batter is pretty standard, and you would just skip the sugar if you didn't want it to be as sweet. So I'm pouring my eggs into my blender. Again, that is 6 eggs. And then I'm going to throw in 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Boom, right into the blender. And then throwing in 1 cup of milk. If you see me looking over here to the side, is because I have my cookbook here. And y'all know I've written way too many recipes at this point to remember them all. So you girls got to read. So if you see me squint, that's also because I'm not wearing my glasses. And but y'all are going to see this face because your girl put on the big blinks for y'all today. So just consider that. Then we're going to throw in our 2 tablespoons or so of flour. Oh, Kimmy, that makes me so sad. So an alternative, I think, to cardamom, I really don't know that there is one. Like, you could go for like a mix of, like, I do cinnamon and black pepper if I don't want to do cardamom, but I still want to get some of like that zesty sort of spice floral component. So that might be a good alternative here. So I've added in my 2 tablespoons of my sugar, and regular white sugar. I haven't tried it with brown sugar, and I'm not really sure that it would make much of a difference. Then I'm going to throw in a tablespoon or so of my vanilla extract. You can see that like I'm almost down to the bottom, and I'm so sad about it because this is my favorite vanilla brand. Like Rodell, she's really that girl. So I'm going to just measure by eye because the more vanilla, the better. I think that was like 2 tablespoons. And I'm also going to throw a little spliggity splash of bourbon. Just, you know, for funsies. So we've got that going. I'm now going to throw in my cinnamon. And I actually keep a cinnamon and cardamom. Like, it's kind of like, it's like a chai masala, but it's missing a couple of the ingredients. And so I just keep this around. So I'm just going to throw in like a tablespoon of this spice blend. But you can just use your standard cinnamon. And a pinch of sea salt. And y'all know, I think I shared this on the last live, that I keep like a gigantic container of sea salt around. So I'm just going to give this like, I don't know, that's maybe like half a teaspoon or so. Oh my gosh, Leandra, yes, I found this in my, I was like cleaning out my closet earlier and I was like, oh my God, where have you been? So I don't know where it's been, but like, throwback, right? I love it. Oh, happy Sunday, babe. All right, so everything's in the blender. I'm going to, and we are going to give this a quick buzz. It really doesn't need to go for long. Our batter sit aside for a little moment, and I'm gonna like bring it a little closer to the camera. It's hella runny, like it's incredibly runny, and that is what we want. So it's like, it's really eggy, it's very liquidy. What we're going to do now is start to heat up our skillet. So 2 things. My oven is already being preheated to 425 degrees. I turned that on beforehand because, you know, it takes a little while. But now over like a medium-high heat, which for me is like a 7, I'm gonna go ahead and bring my temperature, my skillet to temperature. And I make all my own brown butter. If you know me, you know I keep brown butter, like I call it my mother butter. I have jars and jars and jars of brown butter that I make pretty much at the top of every month, and I'm just going to be using that. There are a lot of instructions on my page in multiple places about how to make brown butter, and maybe one day I'll make like another like reel or something to walk everybody back through that. But I'm going to be taking like 2 heaping tablespoons of my brown butter and just allowing it to melt, because the moment that this gets hot enough that it begins to like sizzle, we're going to be pouring our batter straight into that pan, letting it cook over the flame for like 1 minute, and then it's going in the oven for like 10, 15, sometimes max 20 minutes, really depends. And then while that is in the oven, we are going to make a chai apple compote, which is pretty simple. It's really just like apples and butter and sugar. So that is going to top our brown butter Dutch baby, which I'm really excited about. So while I wait on this to get good and hot, What's going on, y'all? How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Does anybody have any fun plans? I think I'm just gonna like chill today. I've been cleaning. I'm trying to finish my gallery wall in my apartment. So if you've ever been to my house, then you've seen like when you first walk in, there's a big ass wall. And on that wall is like a lot of black art, like just framed black art, primarily of black women. And I took everything down because at the top of the year, I was like, I feel like it's a good time to like sort of revisit the art wall and like put new art up on, you know, up there. But also I wanted to repaint all of the frames. Like all the frames were like a bunch of different colors. So like gold, brown, black, whatever. So I painted them a lot of different colors, and I've yet to put the pictures back inside of the frames and hang those frames up on my wall. So I think today might be a good day for me to do that. I think after I have this for breakfast. Oh, I see recovery. Yes, that sounds like the type of time I needed to be on today, but no rest for the hungover. All right, so my pan is good, and actually no, I think it needs maybe like 1 more minute to get really, really hot, because you want your pan to be like freaking scorching. Okay, you don't want it smoking, but you do want it really, really, really hot. I feel like my Dutch babies always come out too thin. Is it possible for them to be fluffy? Mine start fluffy and then they do sink because like the egg, and there's no other leavener there. So you're really just kind of counting on like the whip of your eggs to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I haven't tried adding in any additional leavener to my Dutch baby. I have, however, well, that's not true. I've done a yeasted Dutch baby. That was pretty good. But did it stay fluffy like forever? No, I just don't think it does. Like it's kind of like a dense, like it's a fluffy, but it's a dense ass pancake. All right, my pan is hot enough. So we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in. And you're gonna see that like around your edges, your pan or like your butter sauce is going to start to like bubble around it. And I would bring it closer to the camera, but it's kind of hard to do that because this thing is heavy and hot. Happy Sunday. So I'm just gonna let this cook for like a minute, and then it's going to go into the oven, and then we're going to get started on our apple chai compote, which will also feature bourbon. So if you're gonna, you know, I was teaching a cooking class yesterday for the New York Urban League Young Professionals, and I was saying that like if you're gonna French, like if you're gonna toast, you have to French. Like French toast is really like the only way to do it. And I believe that like really, really strongly. So same thing for me with pancakes and bourbon, or apples and bourbon, or really anything in bourbon. I'll find a way to put bourbon in it. Oh, thank you. The Chopped episode comes on the 27th. So next Tuesday at 9. I'm very anxious about it. So I don't know if any of you had seen in my stories. I think I posted it like last week. But this dude named John, who we competed against each other, was throwing hella shade, and it made it into the commercial. And I was like, oh no. So I'm really anxious about it because I feel like the editing of this, it's meant to be spicy, and I do get that, but like I'm like, damn, okay, like there's like 15 to 20 seconds in the first commercial about like me and how my station was an absolute mess in the middle of cooking. We did have to switch stations though, I can share that with you, and like naturally things do get a little bit hectic. So I mean, some of his shade was warranted, but like, ooh, rude, so rude. But I told him that too, and I know why he mad, and he could stay mad. Anyway, so this has begun to like puff up a little bit on the sides. I'm over here eating all the apples, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. I waited a little too late to get this started. So this is heavy as shit. But essentially, like my edges are beginning to like come up around the sides. So now I'm gonna throw this into the oven, and I'm gonna do the middle half. He did. He was a little shady. I was like, okay, John, heard you. heard you, but it's fine because I know why he was throwing it. Anyway, so now separate small pan. You can really find anything like medium. It doesn't have to be huge, right? Because we're just doing as many apples as you feel like doing. I diced 2 Honeycrisp apples, and it's like a really rough chop. I mean, it really doesn't matter because ultimately you're gonna be the one eating it. So just cut it to whatever size makes your soul smile. Wherever you glean your joy, do that. And I'm going to throw some more brown butter into this pan because I've already got my brown butter ready. And it's going to be maybe like a tablespoon or so of brown butter going into my pan. And once that gets hot, we are going to add in our apples. I'm going to throw in my chai spice and a little bit of black pepper because it's essentially all of the spices, but I leave the black pepper out so that I can use this a little bit more readily, and then adjust the black pepper kind of as need be depending on what I'm making. And then once we get that going, we're gonna go ahead and kick things off with the Equalizer cocktail, which is hands down one of my favorite drinks from this series of Horoscopes. If you have not seen the Horoscopes series, there are 2 more that are dropping later today. I'm missing Aquarius and Pisces, so those are the only 2 that have not yet been dropped. But I think, you know, y'all will really like them. But the Equalizer is a really fun cocktail because it like starts off with green juice, which makes me feel a little bit better about drinking the quantity of liquor that I inevitably drink in this one, because it's a pretty strong drink. But it's green juice, grapefruit juice, tequila, mezcal, Grand Marnier, and then all of that shaken up, and then we top it with either tonic water. And today I picked up this really cute pink grapefruit tonic water, which I'm very excited about using. I love the Fentimans brand. I actually use all of their baby tonic waters also, so like they're just, I prefer them. And yeah, so we'll mix all that up a little bit later. But my pan has started to get hot. I can hear my brown butter popping. And so I'm now going to add in my 2 diced apples. And I'm also going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of sugar. You really don't need much for this one. The apples are naturally sweet, so I'm just going to throw in like a little less than a tablespoon. Really don't need much. And then to go ahead and get the aromatics going, I'm going to also throw in a heaping tablespoon of my chai masala blend. And like I said earlier, it's just missing the black pepper, which is fine because I'll be adding that in during the cooking process. And the way that this thing is already hitting the pan and just smelling amazing, y'all. Okay, and I'm also going to throw in like maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon or so. 1/4 teaspoon, yeah, of my black pepper. Hi Tracy. And so when it comes to your Dutch Baby, because mine is still in the oven and it's going to be in there I think for like another 10 minutes or so, but if you like maple syrup it. If you like want to put like jam on top, oh yes, I'm definitely going to save this live. All of my lives will actually, or they're consistently saved to my page, and then I'll drop the recipe for this afternoon. But yeah, so like, you know, kind of serve it with whichever like spirits not spirits, Jesus, can you tell I'm already thinking about the drink, with whatever syrups, toppings, condiments, whichever you'd like. I am a bit of a purist. Whenever I have a pancake, I want maple syrup and like a healthy smearing of butter. So I'm going to be smearing the shit out of this once it comes out of the oven with a little bit more of that brown butter, and then drizzling it once I put the apple compote on top with a little bit of maple syrup. You really don't need much because again, it's a pretty thin pancake. All right, and so we're just tossing our apples, and I'm going to give them a quick stir. And here is the color. Like, look at that. We're already getting beautiful color, largely because of the chai that we added. And so I just turned that down a little bit, and now I'm going to go ahead and add in my bourbon. Literally, just a splash. You don't need much. I'm not flambeing it. Usually I would, and that's really just a matter of like, you sort of like tip it over into the fire, but I'm not doing that today. Because I really want to create like a pan sauce. Sometimes you can like slice a lemon and like squeeze about half of that in there too if you want a little bit of brightness. I don't know where I put my knife. Oh, here it is. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of brightness to it and just give this lemon a slice. And let me tell y'all this. I just got some Misen knives. Obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with Misen. Super huge fan. It was sharp as shit. It's so sharp. Like, so sharp. Like, it came out of the package and like I went to go like wipe it off with my sponge and it cut through my sponge and I was just not prepared for that. Rude, but also what I need. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon over my apples. Get a little bit of that brightness. You can throw in a lot of different things there. I've done like tequila infused apples. I've done Grand Marnier apples. I've done like rum, vodka. It's really a matter of like your personal preference. And then of course, if you want your compote to be a little bit like stickier, you can throw in like maybe a tablespoon or two of like your maple syrup so that it has that really like jammy consistency. But for the sake of time, I'm not really like cooking it down to a jammy consistency. These are more like fried apples maybe than like an apple compote. So just something to keep in mind. And while we are letting those cook off, I'm turning my heat down to like a medium low. So for me, that's like a 4. And now we are going to build our cocktail. Let me grab my ice. Alrighty, so where did my, okay, got my jigger. And so I am going to be making a double dose of this cocktail. So I've got, this is a cucumber and celery, spinach, and lemon cold pressed juice. Feel free to use whatever green juice you have, you know, whatever your favorite is. So I've got this here, and I'm going to throw in 4 ounces. And like, I absolutely love the color of this drink. I feel like green drinks are just so jarring, but it's so much fun. And this one, like, it literally tastes like a spa. How can you not love that? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It brings me joy that you join. Okay, so now, and the reason why this drink is called the Equalizer is one, because it's for Libras, which, you know, balances the thing there, but also there are literally equal parts of everything in this cocktail, which is mostly why I love it. So now I'm throwing in my grapefruit juice. You can absolutely do like the fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. But, you know, the refrigerated one, it's just the ocean spray one that I'm really not a huge fan of. Like the kind that like sits on the shelf unrefrigerated. I feel like there's a significant difference. So we've got that. I'm going to throw in, this time I'm just going to do 2 ounces of tequila, or no, sorry, 4 ounces of tequila. Usually I do 2 ounces of mezcal, 2 ounces of tequila, and then 2 ounces of Grand Marnier. But today I'm just gonna keep it like tequila. The smoky effect I think is really nice, but I think for this one I want to go a little bit more refreshing. So throwing in my 4 ounces of tequilas. I frequently call tequila tequila meal. Don't ask me why. Yes, ocean spray does have a little bit too much sugar for me. But I also don't feel like grapefruits taste like that for real. Like, I just don't feel like that's like a great grapefruit representation. Like, they should be upset. Alright, so I've got those ingredients in there. I'm going to throw in my little splash of Grand Marnier. And I'm just going to do my 2 ounces. Alright, and boom. And now I'm going to throw in my ice cube, and then we are going to shake this real hard. always time for a cocktail Winnie. You know the vibes. So we're gonna shake this up. So you know, lately I've been listening to a lot of Anita Baker. Because I'm an auntie, right? Like, I'm not an auntie for real. I'm an only child, so I don't technically have any siblings who would have children for me to be the aunt of. But like, auntie vibes are like, that's my whole jam. And so I've been listening to a lot more Anita Baker than usual. And then I found out the good sis is in a fight for her masters and is trying to have people like reduce their, like, her streaming numbers, so that, you know, like, her masters are technically worth less, so that she can like buy them back, because she's outlived all her contracts. Can you believe that? So I had Anita Baker on my playlist. I had to take her off, and do you know how that has affected me and my mental health? It's not great. So if you're wondering how I'm doing, I'm very sad, because, you know, I love Anita on a Sunday morning, or it's Sunday afternoon now. It's like 1:36, but still, Sundays, like, that's the vibe. That was a very aggressive shake. So now I'm just going to pop the top off. It's frozen on here. There's nothing to strain though, so it's fine. I'm going to grab a glass. What kind of glass are we thinking today? Do we want to do low ball? Do we want to do a wine glass? How are we feeling? I'm thinking I'm just gonna go with this, because I'm gonna make this a large drink, and then I'm throwing in yet another big ass ice cube, boop, and pouring this off into my glass. And I mean, like, look at the color on this. It's so pretty. Doesn't it feel like you're about to have a little spa day, a little spa moment? I'm just gonna give this a quick stir so that my apples don't burn. And then I'm going to throw on my tonic water. Now, like I said, I picked up the Fentimans Pink Grapefruit Tonic Water. Fentimans for me can do no wrong. Like, no wrong. They have a pink ginger beer. Baby, delicious. I don't know where the pink came from. I don't know what the pink tastes like. But I know that somehow it is better than all the other ginger beers I've had the good fortune of having in my 26 years of living, because it's pink. So that's just something for you to consider the next time you go to a store that sells specialty sparkling beverages. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and just float that. And it's about an equal 2 ounces as well of our tonic water. And, you know, be bougie about it. Smell it. Don't smell it. That's weird. But she's refreshing. She is chock full of alcohol. You can taste it, but you can't taste it. That's a lot of the reason why my drinks are so dangerous to begin with, because I really have no business making drinks as strong as I do and as they are. But really, it is my business. Like, it's literally my business. So I like that they taste like juice, but this one is like really, really refreshing. And the tonic water sort of brightens it up a bit. Yes, cheers, Elena. All right, so our apples are doing their thing. And I think I might even want them a little bit jammier than this. So I am going to, oh yes, this is definitely, it's a creeper, girl. It's a creeper. So I'm probably going to add in just a little bit more of that brown butter, because I can, and because that is my business. Just like a tablespoon or so. Really not much. Actually, probably less than that. I really just want a little bit to add a little bit more liquid back to it. I didn't add in brown sugar, which definitely would have given it more of like that syrupy vibe. I went with just like pure, like straight up white sugar. All right, and while that is doing its thing, I am gonna add in a little spliggity splash of maple syrup. Just a little. That was like less than a teaspoon. And gonna check on, oh, my baby is Dutch. Okay, hold on, wait. Okay, did time just fly by that quickly and I just didn't set my timer? Because I feel like that's what happened. Let me, because I have to prep to like put this down because it's so hot. Okay, I'm really excited about this, y'all. I don't know where my other oven mitt is, but we're just gonna make this work. And just give that another quick stir because she's coming out. Baby, do you see her? yelling. I'm excited. Look at. Okay, I'm just gonna stand here and pose a bit. Look at this beautiful ass Dutch baby. Okay, so I'm gonna sit this down. I've got it sitting on my cutting board, but she is thick. She is fluffy. She is golden brown. Tell me we ain't twins. Tell me, okay? Period. Period. I'm really hyped. I get like really excited about this. And then what I'm going to do, because this skillet is hot as hell, I'm going to throw, and you should always do this whenever you're pulling a skillet out of the oven, because if you're like me, your attention span is like a little bit like a mosquito, but like a happy mosquito, you know? You're going to want to put an oven mitt on your handle, because the times that I have burnt the inside of my, multiple times, like I'm embarrassed to say. So now, all right, we've made a little bit of a sauce, which is nice. Okay, and then I am going to scoop that over my, oh yes, all in the nooks and in the crannies. And the great thing about adding a little bit of extra brown butter at the end of the apple cooking process is that it also kind of does the work for you of adding butter back to your Dutch baby. So now I'm not gonna like spread any brown butter over it. There's brown butter in that sauce. And so now, because the spirit of extraness has taken over me, I am now going to sprinkle over just a little bit of powdered sugar. And technically I probably should have done this before, but I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on. You don't need much, but I just like a light dusting. My aunt Elizabeth says the funniest thing, and I was home in Miami visiting my family. Well, one was part of girls trip, and then the other part was like going to go kick it with the fam. And she started saying this thing, like it's her own made up word, which is extracenticity. And I don't know what extracenticity is ever meant to mean, but it brought me a really specific sort of joy to bring a little bit of extracenticity to your homes today. Oh, thank you, Tracy. I got this gold, so it's actually not a duster, it's a cocktail straightener. And it was only like $10 on Amazon, girl. So just, you know, if you're looking for a little bit of extra zhuzh in your life, if you want to dust on these hoes, then you can. Oh, Tracy, I am from Atlanta. And I'm not sure if it came out in my chicken head tendencies, but yeah, I'm an Atlanta girl through and through. All right, y'all, so we have made, I'm gonna grab my mitt again. Oh, y'all, this pan is so damn hot. It took the fur, like the, you know, that heat-proof coating that's supposed to be hot. That's not supposed to happen, but it happened anyway. Whatever, it is what it is. All right, so here is my brown butter Dutch baby. Apples and sugar and a little brown butter and the whole thing. And she is splendid and she smells amazing, and I'm really excited to share this recipe with y'all. It's from the book, so it's actually much easier for me to share recipes that I already have typed up and like put together. So I hope that you enjoyed. Meanwhile, I'm covered in powdered sugar. You're just gonna drizzle this with a little bit of maple syrup and enjoy it with the cocktail that we made, you know, because we're out here living our best lives, but like with balance. And I love that for us. We worked really hard for this. So just drizzling this with my maple syrup. Again, you really don't need much. And that is pretty much it. That's it, y'all. So cheers. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat this pancake now. This has been so much fun. Thank you all so much for joining. I'll hit you on the flip side. The recipe will be dropped a little later today on my Instagram, so feel free to check that out. If you decide to remake it, you already know the drill. Tag me. I want to see it. I want to gas you up. I'm like meant to be your best friend in your head, but also your best friend in your kitchen. So, you know, I will gas you up. I really don't even care what it looks like. I'm gonna gas it up just because you did it. So holler at your girl. I will catch y'all. The next 2 horoscopes are dropping either today or tomorrow. Have the happiest of Sundays. Have some champagne. Goodbye, y'all.